Midjourney, DALL-E, Firefly, Meta, and Stable Diffusion. Same prompts compared.
With the release of Midjourney V6, it's getting harder and harder to make a case for other AI image generators. The base model is on a league of its own right now, and it's only going to get better when they officially release it, especially since they're taking user opinion to improve their model. However, if you're just a casual user, Meta is a good alternative since it's free. And if you're looking for a model with amazing comprehension, DALL-E is still the best one in the market. V6 is a real turning point for AI art. The only question is, where do they go from here? Welcome to today's video, where we'll be comparing the capabilities of 5 popular AI image generators: Midjourney, DALL-E, Firefly, Stable Diffusion, and Meta. As you know, image generation is an essential aspect of artificial intelligence, and having high-quality models can greatly improve the user experience. Stay tuned as we dive deep into these models and explore their capabilities. Let the comparison begin. Number 1. Realistic and Portrait. Among the 5 image generators, only Midjourney and Meta managed to create images that would pass the smell test. Firefly's portrait is too waxy, and the fisherman's beard looks fake. Stable Diffusion doesn't look realistic at all, but more like an oil painting. DALL-E could have been good, but it overemphasizes on the wrinkles. Look at the details Midjourney's image, when if you zoom in, you can see every strand of hair, the age lines. Meta is a close second, but it still has that softened effect, which is a trademark for AI image generators at this point. Number 2. Realistic and Landscape. Once again, Midjourney wins this round. V6 really has been a game changer when it comes to realistic images. The images it outputs is still a little stylized and vivid, but it can now pass as a real image. However, if you're just looking for a landscape stock image, then Firefly might be the better option for you. As for the other 3, Stable Diffusion and Meta were actually pretty decent, but the cliffs look like a lump of smooth clay when zoomed in. DALL-E opted to make digital art, which isn't what I'm looking for. Number 3. Realistic and Sports. Midjourney is the clear winner of this category. It perfectly encapsulates the fast-growing sport of pickleball and the kinetic energy behind it. DALL-E could have been good, but it suffers from repetition of certain elements. Moving on to the bottom 3. Adobe Firefly looks to be the best among them, but it's not an actual photograph. There's no paddle, and the player only has 3 fingers. As for Stable Diffusion, the player isn't using the proper equipment, he's breaking through the net, and his face is melting. This Meta image, though, it's freaking hilarious. No further comment. Number 4. 3D product renders. I'm actually impressed because all of these turned out to be good. However, Midjourney V6 continues to be on a league of its own with another beautiful entry. It's dreamy, well shot, and has great contrasts. Meta is once again a close second. Number 5. Logo. This is a win for Midjourney, and it's not even close. Everyone else went for a generic logo, but Midjourney did something new by taking a barber's pole and turning the colors into something that resembles brush strokes. It's so simple yet so effective and unique. DALL-E also deserves a mention here, because it managed to create a well-designed logo, albeit common. The biggest problem I have with it, though, is that it created 2 different logos when I asked only for one. Midjourney just got updated to version 6, and it might be the biggest update yet. Every part of it got improved, and some tricks that you knew won't work anymore. So watch this video to find out what Midjourney V6 can really do. The alpha version of the model became available on December 21st. Saying to all users, the list of improvements may not look very long, but trust me, it is huge. The biggest thing for me is by far the ability to generate text, and I will surely test it all out. There are two ways to access the updated model. The first one is by adding --V6 to your prompt, however there is a catch. If you type these 6 without a space between the two symbols, it will not work. The correct way of inputting is by typing --V6. Better way is to type in Settings, and in the drop-down menu switch the model from the default one to V6 Alpha. Now let me show you how cool this text generation is, and for it, I'm going to use suggested prompt from Midjourney. Developers Midjourney. So imagine the photo of the text. Hello world. Written with a marker and a sticking out are 16:9. In this prompt, we can already see two important things. One, all text should be in quotes if you use other quotes, and these ones it will not work. Second, our 16:9 is used to specify the aspect ratio of the generated images. Now let's look at the images themselves. Surprisingly, the text and all 4 is correctly spelled. You will see that this is not very common for Midjourney to correctly spell everything on the first try. But here with this simple text, everything looks okay. The style of all images is different, and I can't really pinpoint my favorite one. H has its own charm. Big improvement done to Midjourney is more accurate prompt following and accepting longer prompts. This is very useful, and I like this one. Let the community test an alpha version of the V6 model. It's got much more accurate prompt following, as well as longer prompts, improved coherence and model knowledge, improved image prompting and remix, minor text drawing ability, and improved upscalers. They also say in their update here, prompting with V6 is significantly different than V5. You will need to relearn how to prompt. V6 is much more sensitive to your prompt. Avoid junk like award-winning photorealistic for K8K. This is an alpha test. Things will change frequently and without notice. So this isn't the final version of V6. I did spend some time today playing around with it a little bit, and did notice a few interesting things. So my prompt that I tested was a photo of a woman looking into the camera with a colorful city skyline in the background. And you can see the colors are actually really awesome in these images. But they're not super realistic. You can kind of tell they're illustrations. If you want realism, you've got to add style raw. So the exact same prompt with style raw generated these images, which look much more realistic. I then wanted to test how it did with hands. So I typed a man with a city skyline behind him, holding up his hands to the camera, and well, 2 out of the 4 images look pretty decent. But this one, he's only got 4 fingers on each hand. This one he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fingers. Other thing that Midjourney version 6 is really good at is if you want to add a lot of details into your prompt, it actually does a pretty good job of grabbing all of the stuff that you were trying to put into it. So for example, I can do a 3-headed monster wearing sunglasses, staring at a TV, sitting on a red couch. A monkey is on the TV. Let's see how much of that it actually gets. On first attempt, I got some of that. It didn't get my 3-headed monster, but I got a monkey on the TV. Sunglasses, red couch. Just missed the 3-headed monster. So now let's try. A purple wolf in a forest with bats flying over it. The sun is setting behind the trees. Here's what we got. A purple wolf. Sun setting behind the trees. Bats flying over. All of these images did a pretty decent job of adhering to the prompt that I put in. You'll notice here that if I generate the same prompt in Midjourney version 5, it kind of tries to make a wolf-bat hybrid thing in most of them. So the adherence to the prompt is one of the big updates.